The moment Nicki Minaj stepped onto that private jet, wrapped in red leather and waving to cameras like she had just won a personal war, fans thought they were watching a bold reinvention. The Queen had chosen a side, loud and public, and the internet exploded. Clips flew everywhere, Nicki praising freedom, Nicki mocking critics, Nicki promising she had done her homework. But behind the bravado, something else was brewing, something far uglier than a timeline argument or a shady tweet. Sources close to Nicki claim the real meltdown started with a phone call that came late at night. A simple question about overtime checks. A casual laugh that faded into silence. What followed, insiders say, was pure chaos. Voices raised, papers slammed, advisors talking over each other while Nicki paced the room, heels clicking like a countdown clock. The promise that had helped seal her loyalty was suddenly being called into question, and fans are shocked at how fast confidence turned into panic. She thought she had cracked the code, one insider whispered. No tax on overtime, more money, more control, that was the dream. But as details unraveled, emotions ran high and the cracks began to show. Friends who once cheered her on started backing away. Family members questioned her judgment. The Barbs, loyal but restless, flooded comment sections demanding answers. What happens when a superstar realizes the deal she defended so fiercely may have been smoke and mirrors? What happens when pride clashes with reality and the cameras never stop rolling? Tonight, the story takes a turn that no one saw coming. Accusations fly, alliances break, and Nicki Minaj, once unshakable, is said to be spiraling as the truth hits harder than any diss track ever could. The chaos began quietly, almost imperceptibly, in the luxury of Nicki's penthouse suite, where the city lights flickered like tiny witnesses to what would become a full-blown meltdown. She had just returned from a private meeting with her financial advisor, a tense conversation that lasted nearly 3 hours. The words, "no tax on overtime," had sounded like music to her ears at first, a promise of freedom and wealth beyond calculation, but as the evening wore on, a gnawing doubt crept in. Nicki's hands trembled over the sleek glass railing as she stared at the skyline, the glow of the city reflecting in her oversized sunglasses, now useless against the storm of her thoughts. Emotions ran high in ways that even the cameras would never catch. "This can't be real," she muttered, pacing the room, heels clicking against the marble floor like a warning drumbeat. Her phone buzzed incessantly, messages from friends, family, and fans flooding in, some supportive, others skeptical. Her assistant, Carla, hovered nearby, visibly anxious, whispering, "Should I answer them now?" Nicki shook her head sharply, the decision slicing the air between them. "Not yet. I need to think. I need clarity." Clarity, however, was elusive. She dialed her sister, leaving a voicemail that trembled despite her attempts at composure. "Please, just tell me this is okay," she said softly, her voice almost breaking. The response, or rather the lack of one, left her pacing again, the room shrinking around her with every passing second. The next morning, the media storm had already begun. Screenshots of her MAGA endorsement were circulating, captions screaming headlines that combined shock with speculation. Fans were shocked, some angry, some confused, and others gleeful at the drama. Nicki scrolled through the endless notifications, each one a reminder of the choice she had made publicly and the consequences that were now tightening like invisible chains. She could almost hear the whispers in the hallways of her mansion, the imagined criticism from people she had once considered allies. Every picture, every tweet, felt like it carried judgment, and with every new post, her confidence faltered. "I thought I had this," she muttered to herself, gripping the edges of her desk as if it could anchor her to reality. The sense of betrayal began creeping in, not from the outside but from within. Her advisors, the people she trusted to guide her, now seemed opaque, their reassurances hollow. One message from a former manager, left unanswered on her phone, read simply, "Didn't you verify the numbers?" and Nicki could almost hear the underlying accusation. The house was divided, silently, in tension and anticipation. Carla moved like a shadow, careful not to provoke further agitation, while the security team exchanged worried glances. The family, meanwhile, began whispering among themselves. A cousin, visiting unexpectedly, noted the strained atmosphere. "She's not herself," he said, barely audible. Nicki, overhearing, spun around, eyes blazing, and for a moment, the penthouse became a stage for raw emotion. "I'm not doing anything wrong. Do you think I would lie to you?" The words hung in the air, sharp and unforgiving. The cousin took a careful step back, murmuring an apology, leaving Nicki to stew in her own frustration. Every corner of the suite seemed to echo with tension, the walls themselves witnesses to the unraveling of a carefully curated image. By midday, the phone calls began. Agents, lawyers, even journalists pretending to be fans, Nicki was inundated. She answered a call from her longtime publicist, whose voice tried to maintain cheerfulness but was edged with concern. "Nicki, listen, the MAGA posts are trending. The fans are divided, some are shocked, some are celebrating. We need a statement." Nicki, furious, slammed the phone onto the desk. "Statement? Statement? Do you think a statement will fix a lie?" Her tone was harsh, accusatory, and yet tinged with desperation. The financial advisor's promise of "no tax on overtime" was unraveling, threads of false hope that left Nicki reeling. She picked up her phone again, calling her team into the room, a heated argument unfolding like a storm breaking across the skyline. Voices overlapped, accusations flying, suggestions shouted and dismissed in a blur of frustration. "I can't believe I trusted this," she shouted, tears threatening the makeup she had carefully applied earlier. The room vibrated with tension, every person present caught in the gravity of the moment. The fans online, meanwhile, were relentless. Screenshots of Nicki's previous statements about MAGA and taxes circulated alongside memes and reaction videos. The energy was electric, almost cruel in its intensity. Nicki's social media accounts, normally curated with surgical precision, became a battlefield. Comments poured in. "She didn't check? Unbelievable, how could she fall for that? Is this the end of Nicki?" The mix of criticism, support, and mockery created a perfect storm, and Nicki felt it acutely. The queen of rap, known for her control, now felt powerless, caught in the whirlpool of expectation and reality. As night fell, the penthouse seemed to grow smaller. The cameras outside, the reporters staking out, the neighbors' lights flicking on and off, everything was magnified, everything a reminder of her very public misstep. Nicki sat alone for a moment, letting the silence wash over her. It was brief. Soon, Carla entered with news that a financial leak had appeared online, a document suggesting that the "no tax on overtime" promise had never been legally verified. The family was left divided, some urging calm, others whispering doubts. Emotions ran high, the tension slicing through the room like a knife. Nicki clenched her fists, pacing again, muttering under her breath, "I defended it. I believed it, and now?" The questions had no answers. She looked to her reflection in the darkened window, seeing not the powerful superstar the world adored, but a woman confronting betrayal, confusion, and a rapidly spinning narrative that threatened to undo everything she had built. The night stretched on with arguments spilling into text messages, heated group chats, and private phone calls. Nicki's voice, once confident and commanding, was strained and fragile as she confronted advisors, friends, and family. "You all said it was safe. You said I could trust this." Her words were raw, dripping with frustration and disbelief. The financial advisor tried to intervene, voice measured but urgent. "Nicki, we never said it was guaranteed. There was a misunderstanding." Nicki's eyes flashed with anger, her heart pounding as she realized the scope of the deception, intentional or not. The penthouse, filled with echoes of past triumphs, now resonated with the tension of a queen questioning her own judgment. Outside, fans debated, reporters speculated, and social media erupted in chaos. Nicki's MAGA allegiance, once a point of pride and shock value, now became a symbol of miscalculation. The narrative twisted and turned, each day bringing new revelations and rumors. Nicki, caught in the crossfire, tried to manage the fallout while grappling with personal betrayal and professional uncertainty. The story was only beginning, but already the queen of rap was facing a challenge that no stage, no audience, no microphone could fix. The next morning brought no relief. Nicki's phone buzzed relentlessly, a never-ending symphony of notifications, calls, and messages. The leak from the financial office had spread further, now reaching tabloids, blogs, and fan pages, each one dissecting every word, every signature, every promise. Nicki paced her living room, the plush carpet muffling the sound of her heels, but the tension in her shoulders made every step feel heavy. Carla tried to calm her, placing a gentle hand on her arm, but Nicki shook it off. "Don't touch me," she said, voice low but fierce. "I need to handle this myself." She dialed her lawyer, her fingers trembling, nails tapping a frantic rhythm on the phone. The call lasted nearly an hour, full of legal jargon, warnings, and ultimatums, but at the end, Nicki felt no safer. If anything, the reality pressed harder. She had publicly defended a lie, and the truth now threatened to consume her. By mid-afternoon, the family had gathered at her penthouse, each member drawn in by the rumor storm that had already gone global. Her mother sat quietly in the corner, wringing her hands, eyes darting between Nicki and the advisors who were still trying to contain the panic. Nicki's sister, usually calm and collected, was visibly shaken, whispering to one of the managers, "We can't let this ruin her." Nicki overheard and snapped, "Ruin me? I am not ruined, yet, but you all better start telling the truth." The words sliced through the room. The tension was palpable, emotions running high, the air thick with anger, fear, and betrayal. Carla whispered something about canceling the evening's public appearance, but Nicki waved her off. "If they want a show, I'll give them a show. But they're going to see the real me." Outside, fans speculated endlessly. Theories about the "no tax on overtime" lie spread like wildfire, some claiming it was a government trap, others blaming unscrupulous advisors. Hashtags trended, dividing her fanbase into factions, the defenders, the skeptics, and those who simply wanted drama. Nicki, normally indifferent to internet chatter, found herself reading every comment, feeling each one as a punch to her confidence. She muttered under her breath, "They think this is funny. They don't know the half of it." Her eyes were red from sleepless nights, her once flawless makeup smudged from exhaustion and frustration. The evening brought a new twist. A leaked audio clip surfaced online, allegedly of Nicki arguing with her financial advisor, the words sharp and desperate. Fans were shocked, sharing the clip thousands of times, adding captions like, "Queen under attack," and, "She fell for it." Nicki, furious, called Carla over. "Take it down. Delete it everywhere. Now." Carla hesitated. "We can try, but once it's online." Nicki didn't finish the sentence. She already knew the answer. The clip had ignited a frenzy, emotions ran high across social media, and she could feel the world watching every move, every word, every reaction. That night, Nicki sat alone in her bedroom, city lights casting long shadows across her walls. The storm outside was nothing compared to the one inside her mind. Her phone rang again, this time her manager, voice tense but trying to stay composed. "Nicki, we have to think about damage control. Do an interview, address the fans." Nicki cut him off, voice icy. "Interview? You think words can fix a lie? You think fans will just forget?" She threw the phone onto the bed, the screen cracking slightly on impact. The advisors tried to intervene, reminding her that public image was crucial, that every move was being recorded, every decision scrutinized. Nicki glared, pacing again, tears threatening to fall. She felt trapped, caught between loyalty to her promises and the crushing reality that those promises had been built on a lie. The following days were a whirlwind. Nicki's social media accounts became battlegrounds. Every post she made was dissected. Fans commented with anger, disbelief, or mockery. Her once loyal followers split into factions, some defending her choice to publicly support MAGA, others calling it a misstep, a betrayal, or worse, naive. Every notification was a reminder that the world was no longer on her side. Friends reached out, some cautiously, others with veiled criticism. "You should have checked first," one whispered. Nicki snapped, "I did check. I trusted people I thought I could trust." The outburst left the room silent, the weight of the confrontation settling over everyone present. Tensions in the family escalated. Her mother confronted her one evening, voice shaking, eyes glistening. "Nicki, you defended something you didn't understand. You've put yourself in danger." Nicki, exhausted and raw, turned sharply. "Danger? Do you know what it feels like to defend what you believe in, only to find out the ground beneath you is fake? Do you know the humiliation?" Her words hung in the air, charged with emotion. The family was left divided, some nodding in understanding, others recoiling from the intensity. Whispers circulated about whether Nicki would ever recover, whether her reputation could survive the fallout, and whether the MAGA endorsement would now define her legacy. Amidst the drama, unexpected alliances formed. A few friends, sensing the vulnerability, stepped forward with offers of help. One confidant, speaking quietly in a corner, suggested a bold move: go live, talk to them directly. Let them see you're human. Nicki considered it, pacing, hands running through her hair. The idea of exposing her raw emotions terrified her, yet something in the suggestion felt right. If she was going to survive this storm, she needed to confront it head-on, no matter how messy. Just as Nicki began planning her strategy, another twist arrived. A former collaborator leaked private messages, showing conversations where Nicki had been assured repeatedly that the "no tax on overtime" plan was solid. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the drama escalated further. The queen of rap, once untouchable, now faced betrayal on multiple fronts, and the story was far from over. The following morning brought a new wave of chaos. Nicki woke to headlines screaming across every device. Nicki Minaj duped by MAGA promise, no tax on overtime, myth or money trap, queen of rap under fire. Her penthouse, once a sanctuary, now felt like a cage. The walls seemed to close in, reflecting the anxiety in her eyes. Carla tried to help organize her schedule, but Nicki waved her off. "Nothing matters today except the truth. I need answers. I need them now." She called her financial advisor again, the conversation heated and unfiltered. "You told me it was safe. You said I could trust it. How could you let me defend a lie?" Her voice cracked, but the fury remained. The advisor's voice, calm but firm, countered every accusation, explaining technicalities, legal loopholes, and misinterpretations. Nicki's hands flew to her face, tears welling. "Technicalities don't matter. Fans think I'm stupid. My image, my brand, my legacy, it's all on the line." As the hours passed, the personal fallout became public. Her family, divided more than ever, took sides in hushed arguments behind closed doors. Her sister, trying to mediate, pleaded, "Nicki, listen. We're here to help, but you have to see it clearly." Nicki slammed a glass down on the table, the sound shattering the fragile calm. "See clearly? I saw it clearly. I defended what I believed. And now?" She spun, pointing at the city skyline, as if the whole world had betrayed her. The family was left divided, some offering support, others questioning every choice she had made. Whispers of disappointment and concern floated through the mansion, thickening the air with tension. Social media became a battlefield. Screenshots of her private conversations, manipulated clips, and edited tweets flooded timelines. Fans were shocked, some defending her MAGA stance, others accusing her of negligence. Hashtags trended globally, each one a reminder of the stakes. Nicki scrolled endlessly, eyes red, makeup smudged, exhaustion evident, yet she refused to retreat. "I can't hide," she whispered to Carla. "If they want drama, they'll get drama. But they'll see me fight back. The determination was fierce, even as the vulnerability showed. Then came the shocking revelation. An insider leaked that a close associate, someone Nicki had trusted for years, may have misled her intentionally. Emotions ran high in the penthouse as Nicki confronted the person in question. "How could you? After everything?" Her voice trembled, a mix of anger and disbelief. The associate, visibly shaken, stammered, I didn't mean to mislead you. It was a misunderstanding." Nicki's laughter, hollow and sharp, filled the room. "Misunderstanding? Do you know what that has cost me?" The tension escalated, voices overlapping, accusations flying like daggers. Every word, every glance, amplified the drama, leaving the family and staff on edge. In the midst of this turmoil, her team suggested a public statement, a calculated response to the swirling chaos. Nicki, however, rejected the idea outright. "Statement? I won't let them control the narrative. They'll twist my words. They'll make me look weak." Instead, she began drafting her own message, raw, unfiltered, capturing the anger, confusion, and betrayal she felt. Every line was a reflection of the storm inside her, every word a testament to the personal battle she faced. Her team watched silently, uncertain if releasing it would calm or inflame the situation further. The next twist hit harder. A video surfaced showing a heated exchange between Nicki and her financial team during a private consultation. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the internet exploded with speculation. Nicki's voice, sharp and accusing, echoed in the clip, "You promised me security. You promised me freedom, and now I'm left with nothing." The video went viral, every share intensifying the scrutiny. Her phone rang non-stop, notifications piling up faster than she could read. Advisors urged caution, but Nicki felt trapped, cornered by public opinion and private betrayal. Late at night, the penthouse became a stage for confessions and confrontations. Her mother confronted the financial advisor directly, voice trembling but firm. "You led her here. You let her defend something false." The advisor, defensive yet composed, replied, "We gave information as accurately as we could." Interpretations vary. Nicki watched silently, the weight of both public and private judgment pressing on her chest. The family was left divided, some nodding in reluctant agreement, others questioning the validity of every word spoken. Amidst the drama, Nicki received unexpected support. A close friend, sensing the pressure, whispered strategies for regaining control, live interviews, transparent explanations, and direct engagement with fans. Nicki considered it, pacing the room, mind racing. The idea terrified her but also felt like a lifeline. If she could confront the chaos head-on, maybe she could salvage her reputation and assert control over the narrative. But just when Nicki thought she had a plan, another bombshell dropped. A leaked email suggested that a former collaborator had been aware of the "no tax on overtime" issue long before it reached Nicki. The betrayal cut deep, emotions ran high, and the queen of rap felt the walls closing in. Every trusted relationship seemed questionable now. Fans debated endlessly online, some blaming her advisors, others blaming Nicki herself. The tension reached a fever pitch as she realized the story was spiraling out of control. The night ended with Nicki alone, staring at the city lights, grappling with the enormity of the public fallout and personal betrayals. The phone rang again, messages pinged endlessly, and her once unshakable confidence was replaced by a mix of anger, fear, and determination. She whispered to herself, "I won't go down without a fight." They think this is over, but they have no idea. The stage was set for the next act of this drama, one that would test every relationship, every decision, and every ounce of her resilience. The following morning arrived with no peace. Nicki woke to another flood of headlines, each one more sensational than the last. Nicki Minaj in financial chaos, queen of rap faces betrayal, no tax on overtime. Truth revealed. Her penthouse, once a haven of luxury, now felt like a courtroom, every wall a witness to scrutiny and judgment. Carla hovered nervously, holding a stack of papers and messages, but Nicki barely noticed. She dialed her lawyer, her fingers trembling. "I want everything reviewed. Every detail. Every contract. I need proof I wasn't lied to," she demanded. The lawyer, calm but urgent, assured her they would comb through everything, but Nicki could feel the weight of uncertainty pressing harder with each passing second. By midday, the family had assembled once again. Her mother sat quietly, wringing her hands, while her sister paced, trying to maintain some order. Advisors clustered in the corner, whispering urgently. Nicki's eyes darted between everyone, the tension in the room palpable. "I trusted people. I defended them. And now?" Her voice cracked, a mixture of fury and despair. Her words hung in the air, heavy and sharp. The family was left divided, some nodding silently in support, others shifting uncomfortably, questioning past choices and current loyalties. The penthouse felt like a battlefield, each person an unwilling participant in the unraveling drama. Outside, fans and media were relentless. Social media exploded with theories, accusations, and memes. Hashtags trended globally, dissecting every decision, every word, every move Nicki had made. Some fans defended her, claiming she was a victim of deceit. Others mocked, calling her careless or naive. Emotions ran high, the intensity palpable even through screens. Nicki scrolled through it all, eyes red, fingers trembling, feeling the weight of global attention pressing down. She muttered under her breath, "They think this is a game. They think they can break me." Just as she began to plan her next move, another twist hit. A trusted associate, someone who had stood by her for years, was revealed to have misled her, whether intentionally or not. The betrayal cut deep. Nicki confronted the person in the penthouse, her voice sharp and accusatory. "How could you let me defend a lie?" the associate stammered, trying to explain, but Nicki was beyond listening. The conversation escalated, voices overlapping, accusations flying. Carla tried to intervene, but Nicki waved her off. "Stay out of this. This is between me and the people who lied to me." The tension reached a fever pitch, the family and staff caught in the storm of raw emotion and public scrutiny. As night fell, Nicki retreated to her bedroom, but the storm followed her. Messages, calls, and notifications continued relentlessly. A leaked audio clip surfaced, allegedly of Nicki arguing with her financial team, her words raw and unfiltered. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and speculation intensified. Nicki's heart raced as she listened to the clip, recognizing her own voice but feeling the betrayal in every word. She slammed the phone down, pacing again. How did it get out? Who did this? She whispered, anger and fear mingling. The penthouse, once a place of comfort, now felt like a prison, every sound amplified, every shadow a reminder of uncertainty. The family, meanwhile, tried to offer support, but the tension was too thick. Her sister, usually the voice of reason, pleaded, "Nicki, we need to stay calm. We can fix this if we act carefully." Nicki spun around, voice dripping with frustration. "Calm? Calm? Do you know what it feels like to have the world watching you defend something false?" The room went silent, the words hanging like heavy chains. The advisors whispered urgently about strategy, damage control, and public statements, but Nicki refused. "I won't let them control me," she said fiercely, determination flickering through the chaos. Amidst the turmoil, unexpected allies emerged. A few close friends offered guidance, suggesting bold moves, live interviews, transparent explanations, and direct engagement with fans. Nicki considered it, pacing the room, mind racing. The idea terrified her, but also ignited a spark of hope. If she could confront the chaos head-on, she might reclaim her narrative, assert control, and turn the tide. But just as she began formulating a plan, another bombshell hit. A leaked email revealed that a former collaborator had been aware of the "no tax on overtime" issue long before it reached Nicki. The revelation sent shockwaves through her team and family. Emotions ran high, and Nicki felt the walls closing in. The betrayal was everywhere, the scrutiny unrelenting. Fans debated endlessly online, some blaming her advisors, others blaming Nicki herself, and the drama reached a fever pitch. The night ended with Nicki alone, staring out at the city lights, grappling with the enormity of the situation. Calls continued, messages pinged endlessly, and her once unshakable confidence was replaced with a mix of anger, fear, and determination. She whispered to herself, "I won't go down without a fight. They think this is over, but they have no idea." The stage was set for the final act, one that would test every relationship, every decision, and every ounce of her resilience. The next morning, Nicki awoke to a new kind of chaos. The headlines had shifted, now combining scandal with personal attacks. Nicki Minaj's empire shaken by financial lies, Queen of Rap faces trust betrayal, fans divided over MAGA stance. Her penthouse, usually a sanctuary, felt more like a spotlighted stage, every corner exposed to scrutiny. Carla hovered nearby, holding her phone like a shield. Nicki snatched it, scrolling rapidly through the endless notifications. Each one felt like a punch, every comment a reminder of public judgment. "They're not even hiding their glee," she muttered. "They're watching me crumble." Her family tried to intervene. Her mother approached cautiously, voice soft, "Nicki, we just want to help. We're worried." Nicki whirled, eyes blazing. "Worried? Yes, but worried doesn't solve betrayal. It doesn't undo humiliation." She threw her hands up, pacing the room. The advisors whispered among themselves, debating whether to release statements or stay silent, but Nicki cut them off sharply. "No statements. Not until I know who lied, who misled me, and who's loyal." The tension was electric, the penthouse vibrating with anger, fear, and desperation. Meanwhile, social media erupted further. Leaked videos and messages circulated, showing private conversations where Nicki had been assured repeatedly about the "no tax on overtime" promise. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the debate became global. Some blamed her advisors, others blamed Nicki, and still others questioned the legitimacy of the MAGA promise itself. Hashtags trended, screenshots spread, and the internet became a storm she could neither escape nor control. She read every comment, feeling each one sting, each one a reminder that she was under siege. In the late afternoon, an unexpected twist added fuel to the fire. A former collaborator came forward, claiming that some of Nicki's own team had known the plan was flawed but failed to tell her. The revelation hit like a bombshell. Nicki confronted the accused in the penthouse, her voice cold and cutting. "You knew, and you let me defend a lie. How could you betray me?" The accused stammered, trying to explain, but Nicki's fury was unstoppable. Explain? There's nothing to explain. You've turned my life into a circus. The family watched in stunned silence, unsure how to intervene, caught between fear, loyalty, and confusion. As night fell, Nicki's plan for damage control began to take shape. A trusted friend suggested a live address, raw and unfiltered, where she could speak directly to fans. The idea terrified her, but she saw a glimmer of opportunity. If she could show the world her human side, confront the betrayal head-on, and reclaim her narrative, she might survive this storm. She began drafting what she would say, every line charged with emotion, every word a testament to her resilience. Carla watched quietly, knowing that the next move would determine how history remembered this chapter of Nicki's life. But just as Nicki started to gather her courage, another twist emerged. A video surfaced of a heated exchange between her and one of her advisors, recorded during a private consultation. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the media amplified the drama. Nicki's voice, sharp and desperate, echoed in the clip, "You promised security. You promised me freedom, and now I'm left exposed." The viral clip intensified the scrutiny, and Nicki felt the weight of the world pressing down on her. Advisors urged calm, but Nicki refused to retreat. "If they want the truth, they'll get it straight from me," she whispered. The family, meanwhile, was more divided than ever. Her mother, still concerned, tried to offer guidance. "Nicki, think carefully. You can't fight this alone." Nicki's response was a mixture of defiance and despair. "Alone? Maybe. But if they won't stand with me, I'll stand for myself." The tension filled every room of the penthouse, every glance charged with unspoken conflict. Whispers of betrayal, loyalty, and doubt swirled through the mansion like a storm, leaving no corner untouched. Amidst the chaos, Nicki received messages of support from unexpected corners. A few longtime collaborators offered guidance and strategy, advising her on how to handle the social media storm and public perception. She listened carefully, weighing each suggestion, pacing the room as she processed the information. The idea of going live, of confronting the chaos directly, became more appealing, though the fear lingered. She knew that one wrong move could amplify the drama further, but the potential to reclaim control and assert her voice outweighed the risk. The night ended with Nicki alone in her bedroom, city lights casting shadows across the walls. She stared at the skyline, reflecting on the betrayals, the leaked messages, and the whirlwind of public scrutiny. Her phone buzzed endlessly, a constant reminder that the world was watching. She whispered to herself, determination in her voice, "I won't go down quietly. They think this is over, but they have no idea what's coming." The stage was set for the final act, one that would reveal the full scope of deception, loyalty, and raw emotion, pushing every relationship and decision to the breaking point. The tension in Nicki's penthouse reached its peak. Every whisper, every glance, every heartbeat felt amplified, as if the walls themselves were conspiring to reveal the truth. The leaked documents, the viral videos, the endless social media scrutiny, it all collided in one perfect storm, and Nicki stood at the center, raw and unfiltered. Her advisors gathered, speaking in urgent, overlapping voices, but Nicki silenced them with a sharp gesture. "I need to hear no one," she said, eyes blazing. "Tonight, it's just me." The family, watching cautiously, knew this would be a turning point. Emotions ran high, loyalty tested, and secrets threatened to explode. As she prepared for the live address, Nicki paced, rehearsing the words she would say, the confessions she would make. The studio was quiet, the cameras ready, the audience unseen but imagined in every glance. "Fans, they deserve the truth," she whispered. "They've been watching, waiting. Now they'll see the real me." The words were raw, powerful, a mixture of anger, defiance, and vulnerability. She went live, her image projected to millions across the globe, every reaction amplified in real time. Emotions ran high as she recounted the betrayal, the misleading promises, and the chaos that followed. She named no one directly, yet every word carried weight, and the world watched, captivated. The live session became a sensation. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and debates erupted across social media. Some defended her, claiming she had been misled and had acted in good faith. Others criticized, questioning her judgment and decision-making. The family, finally witnessing her courage firsthand, felt a mixture of relief and admiration. Even her critics had to acknowledge her raw honesty, the way she had confronted chaos head-on. Nicki, exhausted but resolute, felt a sense of control return. She had faced the storm, and in doing so, she had reclaimed her narrative. But the drama wasn't over. Whispers of potential lawsuits, financial repercussions, and lingering betrayal continued to surface. Nicki knew that navigating the aftermath would require strategy, resilience, and perhaps a few hard decisions about who she could truly trust. The night stretched on, and yet there was a sense of catharsis in the chaos. She had faced public scrutiny, familial conflict, and professional betrayal, and emerged ready to fight another day. The penthouse, though still tense, now carried the quiet hum of determination. As dawn broke, Nicki reflected on the whirlwind of the past days. The betrayal, the lies, the leaks, the viral moments, they had all converged into an experience that tested her strength like never before. Her phone, once a source of anxiety, now buzzed with messages of support, advice, and cautious congratulations. Carla and the remaining loyal team members stood by, relieved that the queen was regaining her footing. Nicki's gaze swept over the city, determination etched into every line of her face. "This isn't over," she whispered. "They think it's over, but I'm just getting started." The final act of this drama wasn't just about exposure or betrayal, it was about resilience, confrontation, and survival. Nicki Minaj had been misled, manipulated, and tested, yet she stood tall, unbroken, ready to face the next wave of scrutiny. The family, once divided, began to rally quietly behind her, and the loyal fans, captivated by her raw honesty, found themselves rooting for her comeback. Every conversation, every confession, every emotional outburst had led to this moment of reckoning. Now, as the world watched, Nicki faced a choice: retreat into silence or embrace the chaos and assert control. She chose the latter. With the cameras rolling, the social media buzzing, and the world watching her every move, she sent a clear message: no lie, no betrayal, no viral scandal would define her. She was the queen of her narrative, and the storm, no matter how fierce, would not break her. The penthouse, once a battleground, now felt like a command center for resilience, strategy, and the next chapter of her empire. Call to action. The drama isn't over, and neither is the conversation. What do you think about Nicki Minaj's shocking fallout? Will she recover from the MAGA controversy and the "no tax on overtime" betrayal, or is this the start of a long public unraveling? Comment below with your thoughts, hit the like button if you were captivated by the chaos, and don't forget to subscribe for every twist and turn in Nicki's unbelievable saga. Stay tuned, because in the world of fame, loyalty, and scandal, the story is always evolving, and you won't want to miss what happens next.